Greetings. It has been brought to my attention that I now have over 1,000 viewers. 1,000 of you have subscribed to me, and I'm really blown away by that. It's taken me quite a few years to get there, but I really didn't think it would ever happen to me, but I'm delighted. I'm really delighted. I'm not sure how many of the subscribers still watch me, but I really appreciate those of you who do. As a matter of fact, I'm a little remiss in saying this, but I have really over 1,100 subscribers. So in this community, YouTube community, it's very common for individuals with channels to have giveaways, you know, to say thank you as a way of saying thank you to loyal subscribers, loyal viewers. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have a giveaway too. So this video is a means of entering what I'm calling my 11 random questions video response giveaway. 11 questions because it's 1,100 subscribers. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm going to be offering as prizes yet. I sort of have a tentative idea. I'm going to pack a little box with as many things as I can fit into it. Most things, of course, from my coverage. That's, I think, will be more meaningful for most of you if you get things that are actually things that I use or I have made or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what else I can find to put in there. Maybe a surprise, and maybe whoever wins will maybe do a video showing opening the package. That'd be fun. Okay, so how to enter? Well, of course, first of all, you must be a subscriber to my channel. So if you're not a subscriber yet and you would like to enter the giveaway, please do so. And then you enter by making a video response to this video, answering the 11 random questions. Send me the link to your video. You can post it below. Whatever. I'm going to take, what I think I'm going to do is make a playlist. I really like that, of everybody who responds to the video in one playlist so everybody can watch everybody else's response if you wish. I really like that, and I want to say right up front that these, I don't really do this kind of, I don't do all the tags. I don't do all those kind of things. I like some of them, but I particularly like the ones where the questions are meant to be more of prompts than just questions. You know, instead of answering, what is your favorite color, purple, I want to ask more open-ended questions, which would be maybe prompts, so that we learn a little bit more about you, because I think that's more fun when we get more information like that. So most of my questions are going to be open-ended that way. So I think it would be enjoyable to watch them in a playlist. Most people would enjoy watching each other's answers. Be mindful of the deadline. It's going to be July 24th, which is 3 weeks from today. And I'll try to I will try to remember to add a list of the questions in the information box below. So if you forget, you can just copy and paste. So you don't have to listen to the video every time you want to answer the question. Okay, so I'll have that list available for you so you can just copy and paste. Now, I think it's customary when we do this is I'm supposed to ask a question and then give my answer. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that for every one of the questions, because in some of the questions, and you'll see when we get to them, there's really no right answer to the question, and I don't want to influence you with my answers, if that makes any sense. Okay, my first question, and I took this question, this is a response to Ravenflower's 2017 tag, where she asked in the tag, have you tried a new form of divination this year? And I'm taking this because many of us, I said in my response, many of us said yes, we have been interested in another form of divination this year, but we're really not ready to talk about it yet, which means we really haven't gotten into it as much as we wanted to yet. So in that line, I would like to say, in that manner, I would like to say, my thinking was, for those of you who took part in her tag video, if that's still the case, you know, the year is half over, have you gotten any further into that new divination form? Still not ready to talk about what it is, or, you know, I'd like to know a little progress on that. If you were not a part of that tag, then the question simply would be, as it originated, any new kind of divination that you're interested in starting this year. We have 5 more months of the year left, so there's lots of time. Okay. I was really interested in that because I think a lot of us were doing the same thing. And I really am anxious to see if that's really the truth. That we're all really looking at the same kind of thing. Okay, question 2. Oh, and by the way, my answer to number 1, did I say that no, I haven't gotten any further than I was when I first answered her question. Okay, and there are the clowns that we wait for every video to arrive. Okay, number 2. I want to say, have you ever slipped anybody a Mickey? I don't mean it literally. It's meant as humor, figure of speech to mean. Have you ever served somebody a potion without their knowing? Maybe in a tea or something like that. Or would you do it, and under what circumstances? I will answer this because I'm a little embarrassed to say. I've never really, not a potion per se, but I have mixed up some recipes, let's just put it, and served to friends. Interested in the effect that the recipe would have on the friends, which is, I'm embarrassed to say. it. But you know, I said it. Okay, I said it. Would I do it again? I would like to say no, I will never do that again, but I'm not going to say that. I know, you know, if it were something truly serious, I would not do it. If it was like, you know, something really irreversible kind of a thing, like a drug or something, it would never be, or anything like that. But certain edibles and things are known to have certain properties, and I won't say that I will not do it again. I don't know why. That's not very good to admit, but neither I said it. Okay. Number 3. Do you regularly communicate with the other side? And what I mean by this, of course, is, you know, spirits that have passed. Like, the most familiar method would be with the Ouija board. You know, a lot of people use the Ouija to do that. I know a lot of people who are very tuned into that, and they do that a lot regularly, or for the ways connecting with the ancestors, we might call it. But I mean, like, literally, you know, like a seance kind of a deal. Communicating that way, like calling upon spirits to assist you or whatever. How would you do that, or how do you do that? Under what circumstances do you do that? I have to say, this is one thing that I really don't do normally. I think it's left over from experience I had as a young girl. You know, as a young girl, we did a lot of experimenting with Ouija boards. We thought we were hysterical. Like in junior high, you'd have a sleepover and somebody would bring one, and oh, it was all fun and games until we just about scared ourselves to death. And I still have that little bit of that hesitation there, so I'm very careful about that. Okay, the next 2 questions are actually related to the Harry Potter series. Now, I know there's some people out there that take Harry Potter terrifically seriously, and other people who find it laughable and childish. I am of this school that I am a very big fan of Harry Potter. I actually belong to a group of people who held an annual party, a Hogwarts party every year, where we were actually, you know, sorted. We were actually sorted initially and kept in our houses and went through the entire, as each new movie, you know, came out, we progressed with the books, the new books, etc. It was very serious. The people that organized it was seriously done. I mean, that put a lot of attention to detail. we were so detailed that we even did play Quidditch, and not the flying kind, but we had another a variation of the game where we took that very seriously as well, Quidditch in the park. It was a lot of fun, and so my question, if you have read, I'm not talking about the books, I mean the movies. The movies are fantastic and fantastical and fun and entertaining, but the books, if you've read the books, yes, they're meant to be children's books, young adult books, they are. Some people think that's a little weird, that adults get into them so much. The subject matter is pretty adult as they progress. As the children aged along with the books, the subject matter got a little more adult. But what amazed me always as a fan of the Harry Potter books was how much knowledge the author had. When she wrote the books, her knowledge was impeccable, really, of a lot of the things that she talked about. She did an awful lot of research. Or was one really knowledgeable witch, whatever. She really knew her stuff in a lot of ways. And it was very fascinating. It was very fascinating for me. Watching my friends, who really don't believe in it, really believe in it, was really kind of fun. But anyway, this is sort of springing from maybe a Facebook meme where we had, who was the character, what character did you identify with? I don't want you to identify with the character in the book. That's not what the question's about. My question would be, number 4, because we're all adults here, not children. And by the way, this giveaway is for adults only. I should say 18 and older. 18 and older, please. But my first question would be, if you were a member of the faculty at Hogwarts, what position would you likely to hold? And for those of you who have not read the books, it's very easy to Google that to find it. I really don't want to list faculty, but but it would be like, defense against the dark arts, care of magical creatures, potions, herbology, I don't know what. Anyway, there's quite a few, and I would maybe want to Google that if you don't know, and look and see where you would feel most comfortable on the remember, as yourself, not as the character in the book. Okay, which I say that because for one of the years during these Harry Potter parties that I went to, I did take a turn as one of the instructors, and I did take a turn as herbology professor. And you could probably, if you've seen the movies, you could probably see I was a little bit of typecasting perhaps with that one. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I'm not sure that that's the one that I would identify with the most, but I'd be interested in which you would identify with. Okay, and number 4, also having to do with it's related to Harry Potter, but in a way. In the series, there's a lot of circumstances where one of 2 situations happens. The wizards are wanting to keep their magic secret, their actions secret from the muggles, the non-magical people. So they have ways of keeping themselves unseen. Of making themselves unseen to the non-magical world. Also, number 2, there's sometimes of occurrences when the children or whoever the characters want to keep their actions secret from other magical people, other wizards, and so there are ways that they use things like the invisibility cloak, etc. Those kind of things where they put them on and nobody can see them. The reason I thought this was an interesting question was, I want to say, do you employ some kind of methods to hide from either non-magical people or just simply hide away? And this is really based on a recent video I watched of Tequila of Lady Grave Dancers, when she was talking about putting up protection in her home, and she was saying, of course, protecting against all kinds of things, not just against psychic attack or those kind of things, or dark forces or whatever, but she's also talking, or physical harm, somebody wanting to do physical harm to you. But she's also talking about putting up a way. She puts herself in a kind of bubble, her family and her home, in a kind of bubble, so that she goes unnoticed. She really is, because she's a little different, you know, than a lot of the other people in her neighborhood. And she, while she does not hide who she is, she encircles herself with a kind of a bubble to keep herself low-key, so people don't really notice her. That's the question I'm asking. Would you ever, do you ever think that you do that kind of magic, that kind of activity where you are able to hide, or do you think it's a good idea? I thought when I listened to her video, you know, that's exactly what I'm aiming for in my own home. I would like to be under the radar a little bit with things. I'm not hiding from anybody, but there's no reason that I have to be in your face about it. So I really like that concept, and I was wondering if any of you do that as well, that kind of thing as well. So either hiding, keeping your magic completely hidden, or, you know, yourself as a witch or whatever. And I'm not, this is a little different from being out of the broom closet. I hope you understand that. This is more like, it's more of a, because you realize, even if you are not out of the broom closet and you have the powers and you're doing spells and you're doing things like this, you're attracting attention. Whether you know it or not, you're attracting attention. So do you employ some kind of protection to keep that a little bit secret? That's my question. I hope that's a little clear. If you're not clear about what I'm talking about, you might want to listen to Tequila's, the Lady Grave Dancer's video. I don't know what it's called. It's just very recent though. It's about protection. Okay. Now these questions, as I said, I mean these to be more prompts to get some discussion going or whatever, rather than just questions. And number 6 is one I'm not going to answer, because I don't want to imply through answering it that there's a correct answer, because there is no correct answer to this question. The reason for this question is to emphasize how perception is the key, and number 1, and number 2, how when we say things like whatever works for you, that it's correct, we really mean that. Like if you use a certain incense for a certain purpose and it works for you for that purpose, that's the correct incense to use, even if that's something I would never use for that same purpose. Okay. Same with stones. The same with, you know, whatever. Okay. So this is sort of a fun question, meant for fun only. There's no correct answer. I'm hoping to get a whole lot of different answers. That's why, to prove my point, that's why I'm asking it this way. So this is the wording of the question, and I say, oops. You've walked into another witch's parlor and see a spell set on the altar. Can you guess what the spell is for? Nosy little witch, right? These are the clues. This is what you see on the altar. Now, I realize it's none of your business, but you know, we're all a little bit curious, right? Well, first of all, there's patchouli. You recognize the smell of patchouli burning as incense that's smoldering on the altar. You see a large black candle in the center of the altar. And then there is also a small red candle held by what looks like a candle holder that's in the shape of a dragon. So the dragon is holding, or implied to be holding, a small red candle. So you have a big black candle, a small red candle held by a dragon. There's a paten on the altar, and on top of the altar there's a small wooden box which is tied shut with a red ribbon, and it's adorned with an old skeleton key. Not a key that looks like a skeleton, but you know what I mean by a skeleton key, an old-fashioned key. Around the paten, that's on top of the paten, around the paten are sprigs of rosemary and lavender. And there's a tiger's eye gemstone on the altar as well. Okay? So it's patchouli, black candle, small red candle, dragon, wooden box tied shut with a red ribbon, with a key, This pattern is encircled with lavender and rosemary, and there's a tiger's eye gemstone on the altar. Now, what do you think that might be for? Use your imagination. Use your imagination. And again, I'm hoping that I get a lot of different answers. That's where I'm coming from. So I'm not going to tell you. It's no real spell. I just pulled that for, for interest. Okay. Question 7. These are people who came late. This is particularly for people who came late to the party, and I'm talking about people who maybe grew up with a Christian upbringing. A lot of us have, and maybe only came upon this path later in life, or maybe didn't have any path at all. And okay, I would want you to say, if you were to change if you could go back and change that, do you imagine your life being different? If you had been raised on this path, raised as a witch, family witches, whatever, do you feel that your life would be any different than it is now? Conversely, if you have never been anything but but the witch that you are, but pagan, or however you describe yourself, what if you had not been? What if you had come late as an adult, like some of us have? Do you imagine your life being any different than it is? And in what way? Okay? Something to think about. I think we always say, what if? And I was wondering how you think it might be different. I can answer this. I don't want to influence you, but I will say, to be fair, I want to answer. I'll give my answer. Because I did a video, I think my first or second video on ever here on YouTube was, I think it was called One Life, One Path, where I said that I don't believe I am any different now than I ever was, regardless of how I define myself. That I don't believe that I changed direction in my life. I believe that I've always been going in the direction that I arrived at. That that was the way it took me that way to get here. So I don't believe my life would be any different at all, no matter what. I think that this is the way I am, and I can't imagine, being other than I am today. So I don't see that as having, I think you get where you get where you're going. You get where you're going. This may be stupid. You get where you're going however you go, if that makes sense to you. But that's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Number 8 has to do with raising energy. And I talked a little bit yesterday or the day before, whenever I put up the last video, about the talismans. And I said that I really like, a lot of times, to have chants. Rhyming. I do a lot of rhyming. In my spell work, I do use a lot of short rhymes that I can repeat as I'm setting a spell. And that's one way of raising energy. I like to raise energy by drums. I identify very strongly with drums. Drumming is a very big part of the SA culture as well. I'm used to drums. I like the feel of them. Drumming circles, I love just, listening to drums or actually doing the drumming myself. Good way to raise energy. Do you sing? What's your favorite way? Do you have music, like when you're actually trying to, do you dance? What do you do to raise the energy? Number 9, let's revisit. I wanted to revisit Book of Shadows. I haven't been really to the Book of Shadow land, but it used to be in the olden days, people were always sharing their Book of Shadows. They're talking about their Book of Shadows. And somewhere that fell off. People stopped really talking, at least in the circle that I'm in. Those are the videos that I see. I don't see people talking about Book of Shadows too often. The only time I actually heard Book of Shadows being mentioned in recent years was when somebody was criticizing somebody else's. And I think maybe we got really defensive and we said, bugger off if you're going to criticize me, screw you, you're not gonna This is my, I can do what I want in my Book of Shadows. So I'm not really asking you to show me your Book of Shadows. I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm interested in what you put in it. Like, what kind of things? What do you use it for? I mean, I would really like to know that, because I think a lot of people ask. A lot of people are curious. You know, they see me once in a while get mine up, or they'll see it laying, and what kind of things do I put in it? Do I have a lot of pictures? Well, mine is not, I will tell you that I really don't have many pictures in mine at all. It's just mostly writings. And I have a lot of different things in here. I think in the beginning of it, there was a lot of basic information about different things I wanted to know about Sabbaths and different herbs. As I was really working with herbs, what kind of those herbs that I like, etc. There's some information about Sabbaths, but more than information, I have actual text for the Sabbaths written here, for the actual rituals. We were going on for a while, my husband and I were going on for a while, really we kept trying to edit the text all the time, because it was important when we did rituals alone that we were each able to participate in the ritual. Like, it wasn't just, one of us taking the lead, that we were joining as a couple. So we really experimented a lot with what felt comfortable with us, to what texts worked well with that. So we would do things like that. Let's see. I have some spells in here, information, but they're things that I have used. Everything. I don't just collect spells and put in here. They're things that I actually have used when I, like if I'm going to do a prosperity spell, or I'm going to do something like that. I have in here, how I set it up and what I did and stuff like that. I have incense recipes in here, a lot of incense recipes for different Sabbaths, for moon workings, oils, things that I've used. If it's something that somebody gives me, or something that I find that I'd like to try, or something I'd like to, make my own, you start with a basic recipe and then you personalize it, make it your own. I will just stick it in here loosely, but I won't write it in unless I actually do it. I tend to use a lot of colors. I don't know if you can see that. I use a lot of colors, different colored pens. That's just always been my way. It's not very neat. I should do a messy page. But I'm not really worried about, whether it's messy or not. It has to work. It has to work for me. So I use different colors, because it's easy to see when you glance down in a book. I don't want to be stumbling for the words. I want to be able to concentrate on what I'm doing and not be worried about what the words are. So as often as we can, do things over and over the same way, so that you sort of learn the words. It's always better if you can memorize it and learn the words. It's just easier to raise the energy, I guess, that way. But anyway, I just wondered what other kind of things, if that's where you use your Book of Shadows, or do you use it differently, or maybe you don't use it at all. I know some people say they use 3-ring binders, which is fine. I like this book because I like the size of it. My husband also made the book. He just wanted to make a book. He didn't make it to be a Book of Shadows. He just made a book, and then I took it over. I said, that's perfect for Book of Shadows, so that's what we use this for. It still has room in there, because I don't write everything in here, like I said. I still have a little bit of room in the back. And when it's full, I think we'll just make another one like it. I think I like it a lot. Okay, anyway, I'm sort of rambling. Question 10. I have two questions left. Question 10, another nosy question. Is it important for you to identify other witches around you? Think about it. If you're like maybe when you're just out and about, excuse me, I have to have a drink. It's very hot here today. As you can see, I don't even have any hardly ice left. That's the worst part about summer is when your ice melts into your... Maybe not like on the bus or whatever, but I don't know if you're on a bus. I'm never on a bus. I don't know why I said that. But like, I'll give you an example. You know, I belong to groups, you know, when you go about in groups, like my SCA people or, I don't know, some kind of group. Anytime I'm in a group situation, I seem to be on the I look out for people that I think are other witches. Other people that I think are witches. I don't know why. Because you can sort of get close. Sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes it's very obvious, but most people are very more subtle than wearing, you know, a t-shirt that says I'm a witch on it or whatever. And they're kind of subtle. I don't know why. I'm so curious. Other than I don't know why I'm so curious, because I don't know that I would. It's not like that. If I thought somebody was a witch, I would go up and say, I think you're a witch, or I'd kind of talk to them or anything. I wouldn't do that, so I'm not sure. I just am always, maybe that's part of being an empath, that I'm always trying to identify what's around me. I'm not sure. You know, that could be. So I'm curious. Do you have anything like that you do? And finally, the last one is the most fun of all to me. Okay. This again is a prompt question. I want you to say, pack a bag. I want to say pack a bag. You're a witch on the go. Okay? You can only take the magical items that you need that will fit into a small tote bag. You know the size. Like, I was going to hold one up and I didn't bring it in. But you know the size I mean. Just, it's about this big, a tote bag. Like a Trader Joe's bag, cloth bag. The old Trader Joe's cloth bags. Or, you know, just a little book tote bag. A canvas tote that's about that big. With the handles. I'm going to cut right here and get it. Okay, sorry about that. This size. This size. It's just like a little... I don't know how big that is. 18 inches or something like that. Anyway, that's not that terribly important, but you get the drift. This kind of just a little tote bag like that. So, anyway, you're not going to be putting your cat in here. That's what I wanted to show you. But what would you pack? What would you take? If you were taking some things with you that you know you wanted to be prepared for whatever you were going on a trip or going somewhere that you really wanted to be prepared magically for whatever you need, maybe set up an altar or whatever. Okay, I'll answer this without thinking. I mean, I haven't really given this much thought, but I can say for myself, I have a little bit of experience with this because I do have a little bag that I carry all the time with me. Some things I carry all the time. I have a little bag. I carry always, of course, my bracelets. I carry my bracelets all the time. I can actually even get the little bag. This is the one that I use. It's this size bag. Well, that would fit in there well. But I keep all my bracelets usually together in a bag. So I would take my bracelets. I would take tarot cards, of course. And anywhere I take my tarot cards, I take some kind of a smudge stick. I take, I have a crystal point, and with I have a rosary in there with maybe some other crystals as well sometimes. I take, what other kind of thing would I have? I would take some incense. I always take incense. If I'm going to set up an altar, for whatever reason, I always have incense with me of some kind. I usually take, like when I'm camping, I take, that's the one time I do use like cone incenses or the sticks rather than my blends. But I just take those kind of things for certain things. Some candles. I would take salt. I always have salt with me. I carry salt. I usually carry some kind of water. Either ocean water, not pool water, ocean water, river water, lake water, rainwater. It depends on the reason. I usually have a little vial of water with me if I can. That's a good thing to carry. It depends on how long I'm going to be gone. I might carry, I don't know. I'd have to think of some more things. I would get in my cupboard and I would look at some more things I would carry. Okay? But I'm just interested. What kind of things would you put in yours? My Book of Shadows, no, would stay home. I would not carry that. It would fit, but I would not carry Book of Shadows. Right now, this has yarn in it. This has yarn. This is knitting right now. But, so anyway, those are my 11 questions. I don't want to go on and on. I could talk, I guess I can't stop talking today. But I was just curious, again, this is for a giveaway. It's for fun. There are no right answers. There's no judgment. It's 18 and older, please. For subscribers, please make a video response. And I will, all the people that enter, I will make the drawing on the 24th of July. Okay? I'm just really curious, and I'll put the questions down there. I'm sorry I ramble. I'm not good at this. When I don't really have a subject to talk about, one subject, I tend to talk about a lot of things at once, so I didn't mean to go rambling like that. But anyway, I really would love to, I can't wait to see your answers. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. This is just a wild ride for me. I think this is so fun. So anyway, I am Rebecca, the Good Life, and I wish you blessings.